This is just a real quick comparison video against the OE factory axles, CV axles out of a 2018 Polaris 900 Trail. This is the OE axle. This is the Super ATV Rino 2.0 axle. A couple real quick differences that I've noticed. I ruined a boot on the Super ATV axle a few weekends ago. Tore the boot right open. So I had this OE axle that had failed on me with two brand new boots. So I thought I'd rob the boots off the OE axle and put them on the Super ATV axle. One thing to note is that the OE boots and the OE axles are quite a bit smaller. If you look here, they're about 2 3/4 of an inch. If you look on the Super ATV axle, they're about 3 inches. So they fit over the factory boot fairly well, but if you put them on the Super ATV, you're gonna have a little bit of a hard time. But I have tested it and they do fit. Another real quick difference, as we have already found out, the outputs are a little bit larger on the Super ATV. The shaft size is a little bit larger on the Super ATV, but if you look here where they taper it down where it goes into the CV axle, Super ATV has tapered it down quite a bit more than the factory, going down the shaft. And again, the Super ATV axle is tapered a lot more than the factory axle. Kind of curious as to why they would do that. You do get a little more steering angle out of the Super ATV, whether or not we're able to use that or not. One thing to quick note is that these clamps, these whatever you want to call them, they say they're reusable, but I'm not that crafty. You do want these style of clamps on the sides that go in towards the diff and the CV axle. The main reason for that, if you look at the ones under here, if you look between the brake caliper, it's hard to see, but the brake caliper and the CV axle, there's not very much room. There's about less than a finger, right, to get in there. And also, same thing here, you have less than a finger to get in between the frame and the CV axle. So a regular hose clamp's not going to work. You're going to need these special crimp-on styles, whatever you want to call them. I grabbed a couple of those. I just thought I'd show a quick comparison video of the Rino 2.0 axles coming from Super ATV versus the original factory axles. The factory axle had lasted about 1,500 miles before I broke it. This is the front driver that I broke. I replaced it with 2 Super ATV axles instead of just going with the factory. But after tearing these things apart, I'm almost thinking that the factory stuff's pretty good. I don't know, what do you guys think?